Hello, good to see everybody. Happy Labor Day. I appreciate you laboring on Labor Day. And our team had a really good Monday. The way our schedule is structured for our team, after the game on Saturday, we got back, 1:30 or so. And then on Sunday for our team, that's their day of recovery. We don't meet with them on Sunday. Obviously, they do some things in the training room, and they do some things in the weight room, just stretch and stride on their own. And then so today, this morning, we spend time on the previous game, hit on teaching moments, good things we need to work on, and then get through the video and then move on to the next opponent. And then we have about an hour and 5 minute practice, which was really good. I was excited even after the game, but more so looking at the tape on some things that we did well. And you review those things always offensively. I thought we established the line of scrimmage and ran the ball well, close to 200 yards on the ground, which was good to see. I thought overall we protected the quarterback, which is important for us to do in the throw and pass game. And really we got into the third quarter, and I asked the offensive staff, let's take the air out of the game. I don't want any more balls in the air. I think we attempted 3 passes in the second half. I felt like we were in complete control of the game, and I wanted to finish it in that context. So there were some things that we will certainly do better on that side of the ball, as we will on defense and kicking, but it was a good start. Defensively, overall, I thought we pressured the quarterback really well. We had 6 sacks on the day. We had 10 tackles for loss. So you look at those numbers and what that, the ability to control the line of scrimmage again was important for us. We were, I thought, really in a position on third downs to have success and get off the field. At 80% win rate on third downs for our defense, and that's really, really good. Created 2 takeaways, 1 pick six with Catalan, and then he had another interception, which was a great play on the sideline. And then in our kicking game, we had 2 field goals, which were big. We had 2 punts that we pinned them inside the 10-yard line, which was huge on the field position battle. Ended up getting a couple touchbacks there late in the game. But the biggest stat to me of the day is our average starting field position. When you look at it in those measurables, our average starting position was a 45-yard line, 45.2. And theirs was 22.8, so roughly a 23-yard average every time we got the ball. You add that up over the course of the game. Felt like we played on the right end of the field all game, and that was huge. And that's really complimentary football, and it's the way that our team needs to be. Got a long ways to go to achieve what we want. Another challenge this week for us to prepare and get the game plan down to be able to play fast with confidence. Excited to play at home. It'll be a great atmosphere for our team and a chance to kick it off in Allegiant this year. We're excited about that. Our kids are hungry, and I think we look at the way the game played out. Certainly some good things. Glad to be 1-0. We left a lot out there, and I've got to coach better. We've got to play better, and we got to continue to pour into the process of the preparation. And then we need to have a great Tuesday practice, and if we do that, then the week will we'll gain momentum as the week goes on. I credit our strength staff, our assistant coaches on the way that we prepared for that first game. We didn't have anybody with any heat-related missing plays, no cramps, none of that. And, I think there was a little bit of a narrative out there about can UNLV go in a humid condition and play, and I thought we handled it on our sideline really well. And that doesn't happen just with game week preparation. Those things are done long away from the arena and from the lights, so credit to everybody that was a part of that, from Jeff Fish to Kennedy Springer to sports medicine, and then obviously our players doing the things they needed to habit-wise to get in position to play in that atmosphere. We're healthy. Everybody that played last week, if we played today, they would be cleared for activity, so that's a great thing. We lost Jed Elad early in the game to a targeting, so the way the rules are, we'll have him back to start the game next week. That's big for us. He's a guy that can play multiple positions defensively and a huge contributor on special teams. And so the race is on, and you get to the end of the game and you want those moments to be celebrated on a win. Poured a lot of work in the offseason into that first game, and so I was excited for our team. But really, unfortunately, by the time you get on the bus, for me, head to the airport, you've already kind of turned the page. So it's a sprint with no finish line, and the pursuit to get this team in position to play their best week 2. We're on that mission and excited about it, and we're off to a good start this week. Questions?
Coach, Matt Sluka came into camp late in the fall. How much did the game start to slow down for him, and is that still a work in progress for him?
Oh, I think it did slow down. I think he was good in the run game. We missed some things, not just him, but we missed some things, a couple reads, and we missed some things down the field. We also turned around and hand the ball off a lot too. So I think the quarterback position and every position, we should be a lot better week 2. Just through reps and the progress you make. There's a lot of new faces out there, and blending all that together on both sides of the ball, that's one of our challenges. But that's college football now. I mean, we had 50 new players this year. We had 55 last year. Houston had 67, I believe, if the number's right. So how fast can you get those guys galvanized? How fast can you get them enough reps to be game ready? And then can they go execute with all the different surroundings, the new surroundings around them? That's part of the fun of the process now on building a roster. So, I think we'll get better, and that's the challenge. So we'll get better as the season goes on. And everybody says, well, you make the biggest jump between week 1 and week 2. I don't know if that's correct. We better make a jump, because we were not as good as we need to be in a lot of areas.
Coach, on the defensive side of the ball, saw a lot of different looks. Saw a lot of Charles Correa. Is that going to be something you guys do, kind of switching back and forth between the 4-2-5 and more of a true 4-3?
Yeah, a lot of it depending on the personnel and what we're getting on the other side. I think Charles has had a great camp. Physically was impressive from the day he stepped on campus. And then can we coach him well enough early to get in position to play with confidence? And he was one that was able to retain that. Again, I've said it a number of times. Take the age off of it. If we can get them ready to go play, they're going to play. And he's one of those guys that his role will continue to increase. We've put a lot on him, multiple positions, the training of what that looks like, and there's things for him like the quarterback that started to slow down a little bit. Just the speed of the game, and that showed up in a couple of our scrimmages. He had looked really good in some of the practices. First scrimmage didn't tackle very well. Just the newness of it and the speed, and I think those things, as the season goes on, he'll continue to get better and better.
Was game plan specific for week 1, or is getting the linebackers more involved in the pass rush into the backfield? Is that something you want to do more this season?
Well, I think we did some of that last year. I think we're better year 2 in the system. I mean, those things have been built into what we want to do defensively. I think we've got 3 or 4 linebackers that are good rushers, not only through the middle and the quarterback, in his up the middle, but also on the edge of the defense. We can line those guys up in a number of ways. There are a number of things that Mike couldn't get to last year. Just we didn't have the personnel to do it, and it didn't match the skill set of what we had at the current time. You always adjust to what your roster is, and I think we've got the opportunity because of certainly Jackson and Marcel the other night showcased some of that. And then in the second half, we went away completely from what our second half thoughts were on what we had built in, because we really didn't need to get to it. Shear did a great job, and the defensive staff on building the game plan of the week, and this week's a new one. So I think we've got to incorporate those guys in a number of ways. We got to be really good on first down. I mentioned that earlier when I spoke with you guys last week or 2 weeks ago. The better you're on first down, get them behind the sticks, then you can it opens up a whole nother chapter or book of what we can get done in those situations.
How have you seen Marcel McDuffie develop, and what does he bring to the defense, and particularly rushing like that?
Yeah, I think his physicality has improved, his understanding of the play call, understanding of the defense, the scheme. I think true confidence in his own skill set has helped him, and I think he's just scratching the surface. I think he's got a lot of really good ball left ahead of him.
There's so many variables a head coach has to worry about, so many things that can go wrong. So when you get a game like that, when they're performing as you wish, what's it like for you to stand there and to be there? I know you're insanely busy while you're on the sideline, but what's it like to coach a game like that? They're hard to come by.
Yeah, it's hard to win. I mean, it's really, really hard to win. And when you get in that situation, you understand the game is really in control. At that point, don't mess it up. But you want to finish with that mentality. I think a lot of that has to do with off-season conversations that you've had with your team on building for that moment and understanding how important it is to finish a game in the third and fourth quarter when you've got the game in control. You know, as long as you continue to play one snap at a time. And those things all sound easy to do, but can you really, really mentally, can you focus to do it and not even look at the scoreboard? Those were some of the messages on the sideline, but it was already something that we had talked about last spring, during the summer and fall camp, that I could go back to some of those messages. I would say that I've leaned a lot in that context to Gary Pinkel, who I worked for a number of years, that spent so much time in a classroom setting, so to speak, on talking about those things. And, I've got a lot, I can be a lot better head coach, but I've learned so much. There's nothing like the experience of sitting in the chair and the things that you've got to worry about that. You've got to think about all the other things. But also, if you surround yourself in the organization with really, really good people that are hungry to go do their job, it makes the head coach's job a lot easier, and that's what we have here.
What do you think of Sluka? Go ahead, Mark, or Chris.
I was just thinking, when you had those three quarterbacks, you didn't want to think the starter, when you had that staff meeting, I guess, or whatever, with whoever you came together with, to say, okay, this is our guy, what were the tangibles that made you lean that way? Okay, here's our starter for game one.
Yeah, I think, number one, every day we have a staff meeting. We talk about a number of things in that meeting with personnel, with depth, the reasons why, what that goes into. So it was a body of work over fall camp. Offensively, they charted a number of different things, from production to turnovers to third down efficiency to executing the offense to mental errors to touchdowns to a whole list of things that we looked at on what we thought gave us the first and best chance in game one, and Sluka was the guy going into that. We felt comfortable with that. We also feel like, at some point, all three of them are going to have to help us win a game. And so the importance of continuing to develop those guys in all those areas, that will be an ongoing process for us all.
When you see Matt Sluka pick up a snap off the ground and then roll out and throw a perfect touchdown pass, it's obviously something you can't chart, but that's the sort of play that sticks in your mind. That's the kind of thing you can do.
Well, that was it was such a huge play for us. What a great catch with Jacob getting his foot in, but placed perfectly where the only guy that could have caught it was our receiver, and then the reaction to be able to go ahead, get the ball off the turf, get your eyes back fixed on the target, and you're moving at the same time and deliver it. That was a big time play, and the ability, the playmaking ability, there's a lot of times, and I think all three quarterbacks have the opportunity to extend plays with their legs. But the key is, can you extend it also and keep your eyes downfield and then have the physical traits to be able to deliver the ball? And he did on that, which was big time. And unfortunately, later on in the game, we got the two called back on offensive holding. Those hurt, because that really could have opened it up a lot earlier. Similar situation, scrambled, bought a little time, kept his eyes down the field, in the pocket, moved up, and was able to deliver 2 strikes, and and unfortunately those got called back. But those are big time plays that they don't show up in the stat line.
How much does Sluka's ability to get first downs on quarterback runs change the game plan, and what do you think of his ball security and ability to break tackles?
Thought it was really big. I mean, extending some third down carries that got us some toughness plays there to finish the run, to get down when you need to get down, but also go get a yard when you need it, or 3. I thought he was too loose with the ball. Security-wise, it was out. Other than the interception, he didn't have any other issues, but it was a little loose. We got to get those things corrected. He understands that, but also, I do think he's got physical toughness and mental toughness. He's going to take some shots, just the way that he plays. So you've got to be aware of that and make sure that you're protecting the ball. Don't take one when you don't need to take one. But he's a mature player. He understands that.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about Allegiant Stadium, the record attendance last night, really the home field advantage you guys are building this year.
Well, I hope that someday that we're talking about record attendance for us, and we need the city of Vegas to continue to embrace what we're doing. And we're excited about playing at home. We're thrilled for the opportunity to play in that stadium. We need to create. It does get so loud in there. We could create a nightmare for our opponents. And I know I've got to coach. We got to have winning football. And right now, and the one opportunity we have. So let's show up and let's be loud.
Thoughts on the play of the defensive backfield, especially since Elad went out early, and then on the depth chart you've got Grimes and Chavis flipped.
We do have a number of guys in those positions, and a number that we feel comfortable that can play winning ball, and not just for a series or for long sustained time. I don't want to lose anybody, and I hate that Jet had the penalty that took him out of the game. But the next guy understands that they're a play away from having to play really meaningful snaps, and that affected our kicking depth. It affected the rotation that we had going into the game, but our coaches on that side did a nice job making adjustments, and then the guys that went in and played in that role, in the way the rotation ended up, they played at a high level.
What about the flipping from free safety to cornerback for
Yeah, I
Chavis
still
and
think,
Grimes?
Ware can play, he can play both spots. Grimes can play both spots. Chavis can play maybe all 5 spots. Jono can play nickel and high safety. That will benefit us. I look at it as it's a 15-week season. We got 12 regular season games, 2 bye weeks, championship weekend. I mean, it's a long season that we're going to need every single person on the roster to do and practice the way that we want to. And then not only that, but then when your number is called, we don't need a drop-off from, well, he was a 1 and he was a 2 or a 3. The standard is the standard, and they've got to be able to plug and play.
What did you make of Baldwin, his first game at the new nickel spot? In the box a ton, really setting the edge really from the early stages of the game.
He was solid. I think there's areas that we feel we could be better, but first time in that role for a complete game, he did the things that we needed to out of that spot. So, so happy for he and Cam Oliver. There's something special when you get to go back home and you win a game. And we've got a number of guys from Texas on the roster, but for the Houston area, those 2 guys, they played a lot of ball, and for them to go in front of their family and friends and high school coaches, and that was fun to see that for them. And along that line, the number of families we had outside the locker room that came to watch their kids play, it seemed way more than what I saw last year, and that was a fun atmosphere for them after the game, to be able to see their families and to be able to do that after a big win.
Tomorrow, the polls will come out, and you guys will give votes. I guess Coach Speak would say, we don't care about the votes, we're just going to go play the next game. But for UNLV, that's been down for so many years, to even get that kind of recognition and see UNLV in the, getting votes in a poll, it's got to be pretty satisfying, right?
Absolutely, and I am not one of those. I used to be acting like I didn't read them. I read them, and I read them then. This didn't tell the truth. Everybody reads them. Okay, I'm done with coach talk. Right? That's boring. Oh, I think we're a top 25 team. If you haven't put your vote in yet, you should vote for the Rebels. And we know the significance of what that means. We've earned some things. We understand that now. We've got to uphold those things, and every single week how important it is from a big picture standpoint.
It seemed like going into the game, you said that you were going to play a lot of different players at a lot of different positions, but then you also mentioned earlier being in the position of a game like that, not wanting to mess anything up. Can you kind of talk about that balance of wanting to give people play time and put them in without messing up the flow of the game?
Yeah, that's a tough one because we were playing at least at corner going into the game. I thought we'd play a couple more guys early, but our rep count wasn't very high on defense because we were getting off the field on third downs. So that changed the rotation a little bit, but we got a lot of guys in the game in the second half, which will pay off for us in weeks to come. Even if it was the last drive, there's the way you get good at football is you play football, and it's got to be reps that mean something. Practice reps are amazing, and you get better that way. But being in the arena and having to focus and do it at a high level, that's the way you gain real confidence in yourself. So there is a balance there. We were in control. You also want to get guys reps. I wanted to keep the continuity also offensively of the 5, 6, 7 guys were playing on the offensive line, and then defensively we wanted to get some guys out. Especially going into that last drive, it was wholesale change. We got everybody out, but you want to be able to function as well. So. The trusting of putting everybody in at that position, I think we're in a better spot right now than I was. Just my own mindset going into week 1, I'm a lot better right now, knowing what I think we'll get going into the next week.
Coach, how bad did the defensive unit want the shutout?
Those are hard to get. We wanted it bad. I wanted it, and I wanted the defense and the team to embrace that. We got close, didn't get it, and so. Save me some money on donuts.
When you've got, you're in between two, big road games, how do you keep the team focused on Utah Tech, which is not exactly the biggest game on your schedule?
It's got to be our biggest game, and that is coach talk. We addressed that this morning, that what a huge opportunity for us to play at home, to improve from week 1 to week 2. We know we left a lot on the field. In Houston, we didn't play our best in any area. So the pursuit of excellence and pursuit to reach the standard every day on our habits and our development and our preparation. And then the opportunity to play a game, we have so many on the compared to the amount of work you put in every week throughout the year. Don't ever cheat that process. And we get a chance to play, just like we said last week, I wanted them to remove the logo, remove the conference, remove all that stuff, get into the position that you go play fast, you play free, and you play together. And that will be the goal again this week, but to do it at a higher clip and a better execution rate in all 3 phases.
The running back rotation seemed to be pretty similar to last year, 4 guys really splitting the carries pretty evenly. What did you make of that statement?
Yeah, I think that was a plan going into it, and until somebody proves that they need more reps, then we're going to stay with that. A lot of opportunities out there, and if they want more, they'll go earn them. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.